It says the foundations of Western culture.
Say what?
Yeah.
Okay.
It says the statues of justice and peace, which that's justice and peace on those two sides of the pillow.
Yeah.
They got two deities that one just and the other represents peace. So this is nothing but to ancient Rome and Greece.
Yeah.
It says a Western culture, the statues of justice and peace represent Egypt and Greece, respectively. The ark represents Rome and is based on the ark of Titus.
So respectively, the ark represents Rome and is based on the ark of Titus. Now I'm gonna turn it around. We're gonna scroll the camera up, and as you can see, this is an actual ark. Now the difference between this ark and the ark of Titus, this is a replica, but it doesn't have the commemoration of Titus and the sacking of Jerusalem and taking of the menorah and all of the treasures out of the temple. You see? But it is an ancient building structure of the ancient Roman world. As a matter of fact, we could get some of those other precepts. Somebody get Matthew 24, and then somebody get Daniel 9:24.
Cool.
You know?
Yep.
I had a quick one to add.
Yeah, bring it out.
This is a one paragraph off the article. It says, why is the Ark of Titus so important? It says the Ark commemorates the military trumpets of Titus and his father Vespasian, in particular their victory in the Jewish war, which ended in 70 AD.
Now notice they never mentioned Tiberius Julius Alexander.
Right.
He was the main general who was Jake that took that down because Titus was inexperienced. Now if Vespasian would have went there, he probably wouldn't have needed Tiberius Julius Alexander. But the point is that Tiberius Julius Alexander was really the one that took that down. But it was just like everything that Jake does, Esau gets credit for. It's never changed.
Right. To finish it off, it says the images carved into the stone collaborates the destruction of the temple in Jerusalem and the divinity of Titus.
Right, because when Elder Pastor Charges did a lesson on this, where the emperors of Rome always fancied themselves, and even the Greek rulers always fancied themselves as being gods. You know, or like demigods, or you know, sons of the gods. You know, so with that, Matthew 24, and then we get you got what you got, brother?
I got Matthew 24.
15.
You said Daniel's 9.
9:24. Yeah.
Okay.
7 weeks.
All right, so this is Matthew 24 and 15. When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet stand in the holy place, whoso readeth, let him understand.
Right, so now what did that represent? That represented the sacking of Jerusalem. So what Yahushua was doing was he was letting Israel know that when you see, those of you that are, whose eyes are open, when you see these Roman soldiers are all up in Jerusalem and surrounding Jerusalem, get the hell out. If you happen to be in the field, don't come back. If you got something at home, don't worry about it. Just get the hell out of there. Because we can go also to Luke 19 and 41. But that,
Okay, come.
and then somebody get Luke 21, and I'm not sure the exact verse.
Okay, it says, whoso readeth, let him understand. Then let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains, and let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of the house.
So now what was that abomination that make it desolate? Those were the Roman armies coming into Jerusalem somewhere where they don't belong, because the heathens didn't belong in the temple. Thieves in the temple tonight. You know about that. Go ahead.
It says,
Salaka, hold on to that. Luke 19.
This is the book of Luke 19 and 41. And when he was come near, he beheld the city and wept over it, saying,
This is Yahushua. Go ahead.
if thou hadst known, even thou, at least in this thy day, the things which belong unto thy peace.
Right. If you would have known at this point, because you're not a threat right at this moment.
right.
But eventually, there's going to come a time where you're going to be in some serious threat. But if you know this day now what belonged to your peace. Go ahead.
All right, it says, but now they are hid from thine eyes.
Right, they're hid from your eyes, because even though they were warned,
Right.
they still didn't take heed.
Take heed to
So
Yeah.
it means that later on in the history, because most of those people that he was speaking to were probably in their 20s, 30s, 40s. So by the time the second of Jerusalem came, they was probably like in their 60s, 70s
Yeah.
or so. You know,
Right,
they
right.
had sons, daughters, they
Yeah.
had, you know, grandchildren and all of that. But he said they're hidden from your eyes.
Right, right.
So you don't know what's going on.
Mm.
So you're not going to be prepared when the time comes. Go ahead.
Yep, verse 43. For the days shall come upon thee, that thine enemies shall cast a trench about thee.
That means that their armies are going to surround Jerusalem as the manner of the Romans was. They will surround the city, and then they will put a siege walls all the way around, and they will stop any, you know, any supplies coming in
Right.
or anybody coming out or in.
Mm-hmm.
So you was in a jam. So when you ran out of provisions, guess what? You had to, you know, you had to give up.
That was that's when the famine came. If I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
that's it.
That's
Yep.
to starve Jake out.
Yep.
That's the prophecy that that's the curses.
Yep.
That should eat your children and whatnot.
That happened more than once. That happened more than back
Yeah.
to the time of the Babylonians. The Babylonians had Jake in a situation where they had to eat their children too,
Mm.
because the curses went from every. The scriptures say that they will follow us wherever we went.
Right, right.
So no matter what captivity we would be in, they would be, the curses would be right there, right behind us. You know? Yeah. Hey, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Yep. It says, and compass thee around and keep thee in on every side, and shall lay thee even with the ground.
And they did that, meaning what? You were going to be put to death.
Yep.
Go ahead.
And if I may add, this replica, you know, is nothing but a slap in the face of Jake.
Yeah.
You know, to commemorate the conquering of the children of Israel, and then to erect a replica in a city that's predominantly Jake,
Especially this particular area.
especially this particular area. You know, it just goes to show you that Esau is always going to put his nation first, man.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
Right.
so it's one of those things where, you know, it's just, you know, it's they really kind of hiding it in plain sight.
Right.
You know, because the average Jake that walk by here, man, they don't know what's going on, man.
No, we're just doing a live on YouTube, just
Filming
giving,
like a-
historical insight into the Archetypus in Rome.
Yeah.
I actually work here at the museum, so I just take a picture.
Yo, yeah, no,
Okay.
you did.
Yeah.
All right. And any
Thank-
insight you
thank-
can add, you know, will be fine.
I mean, they'll probably know as much as I do.
Oh,
okay.
I can speak a little bit on
The
the
design.
reason behind the use of the triangle.
Okay, so that it goes back to ancient Rome.
Yes, and the reason the
You mind
Romans,
being on camera?
I do.
Oh, yeah,
The
yeah.
reason the Romans built them was they were monuments to siege victories.
Right.
Siege victories.
That's it. That's it. That's it. All right.
Well, I can speak a little bit into that. If you don't probably all need this more than I do. My current fascination with political history.
Okay.
You got it. You got it.
All right, thank you.
Yes,
All
sir.
right.
He just came out of there. No?
Go ahead. So,
Yep.
and then we're gonna move around because we've got some more stuff.
Yeah.
Call for Luke 21.
Luke 21, where it says these be the days of vengeance. But go ahead,
I'm gonna just finish this real quick.
And then we're gonna move. You know, we're gonna move around.
Okay, verse 44. And shall lay thee even with the ground, and thy children within thee, and they shall not leave in thee one stone upon another, because thou knewest not the time of thy visitation.
I knew it's not the time of thy visitation. It's the same thing today.
Same thing. Yeah.
Jake don't know what the hell's going on.
Yep.
Here it is. All the signs are there. Pretty much, this is like 70 AD all over again. But the siege is going to be different. We don't have actual cities where
Right.
we had where there were walls at. The siege is going to be when those, you know, FEMA troops come in, you know, whatever other military troops these devils have, and encircle Jake in these cities,
Yeah.
and pretty much fuck them up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Right.
And we get to Luke 21,
Okay. Fine.
This is
and then
Luke.
we'll get one. Matter of fact, you could go to Daniel 9. I think it's the last two verses, 26, 27. Is it?
Yeah.
All right, we'll read those.
Keep
And,
score. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
go ahead, you got that. You got that in Luke.
This is Luke 21
Yeah.
and 21. It says, then let them It says, then let, verse 20, it says, and when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh.
Right, this is what Yahweh Shah was speaking about. So when you see the armies coming, you know that the end is near. Go ahead.
It says, then let them which are in Jerusalem, Judah, flee to the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out, and let not them that are in the countries enter therein, for these be the days of vengeance.
These be the days of vengeance. What?
These be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled.
And that's the bottom line. Everything that's written is going to be fulfilled.
That's right. Yep.
And that's what we're at the point of fulfillment of prophecy. That's where we're at. So we're going to get Daniel 9, the last 2 verses, and then we're going to move down the stairs down to these pillars down here and see what else we could glean.
Supposed to be Cyrus the Great.
Okay, so that goes back to Jake too. You know, Cyrus the Great, which was a Persian king. And then you notice in the back of him, he has a
Syrian.
that's not an eagle.
Oh, it's not.
That's actually the symbol of the what you call it?
The Assyrian.
Phoenix bird, right? The water brother. Phoenix bird, which is representation of rising from the ashes.
But if I may, what's that Psalms,
So they got the Phoenix.
is that Psalms 18, is it? 89, maybe, and 18. Scripture said they would never rise again.
Right.
They said 18.
Yeah,
18, He saw his rebellious nature. He's like, nah, we're going to come back. You know?
Yeah.
And the record say you're right.
Oh, well, I read that in Malachi, the 1st chapter.
Yeah.
They shall build, but the Lord going to throw down.
That's right.
That's it.
That's right, bro.
That's it. So let's read that, and then, like I said, we'll take a walk, and then, you know, like brothers' precepts, bring them out.
Yeah, this is Daniel's 9 and 26. It says that after 62 weeks shall Messiah be cut off, but not for himself.
Right, and that 62 weeks represents 69 weeks, because it was 70 weeks altogether. 70 times 7 is 490 years, because when you go through the scriptures, a week represents 7 years.
Right.
You know, so from the time, read that again.
Yep. Daniel's 9:26, and after 62 weeks,
Right. Okay.
shall Messiah be cut off.
Right. So after this 69 weeks, Yahweh Shah was going to be cut off.
Yeah.
Then there was a period.
There was a week that was off.
A period that was left.
Yeah,
right,
yeah, of the last week.
which the Lord put to the side specifically for the destruction of Jerusalem. You got it?
Yep. It says, shall be cut off, but not for himself. And the people of the prince that shall come
Right.
shall destroy the city and the sanctuary.
So what was that? That was talking about the Roman armies.
Yep.
They were going to destroy the city and the sanctuary and do what?
It says, and the end thereof shall be with a flood.
Right. And what was that flood? That flood was the Roman armies coming into Jerusalem.
Yeah,
As it said, you're going to be entrenched around.
All around.
Anybody have something?
I could get something real quick dealing with the flood.
So read that again while he finds what he's getting.
This is Daniel 9:26 towards the last of the verse. It says, and in the end thereof shall be with a flood, and unto the end of the war desolations are determined.
Right. You know, and desolations are determined because that when the military came in, that's when the end was brought in. Because they besieged Jerusalem and eventually took it down.
Yep.
You know?
I got it real quick.
All right, you got something?
Yep, Isaiah 17:12. Woe to the multitude of many people which make a noise like the noise of seas, which is why the scriptures liken the armies as a flood. It says, and to the rushing of nations that make a rushing like the rushing of mighty waters.
Because water is very powerful too. Water is really unstoppable.
And when you read the book of Revelations, the Lord, the visions in the book of Revelation, the 13th chapter, or the 4th, I think it's either the 14th or 13th, but it references the people as the sea. As the sea.
Revelation 17.
Yep. And then it also in Revelations 12, It says Satan, the serpent cast out of his mouth a flood, which
Yeah.
represents the Roman armies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Definitely.
That's right, right out.
Like the Psalms chapter 121, I started at the top. It says, a song of degrees of David. If it had not been the Lord who was on our side, now may Israel say, if it had not been the Lord who was on our side, when men rose up against us, then they had swallowed us up quick.
Don't. You can't use that word swallow.
Can't use that
No,
word.
sorry, go ahead, brother. Have you? Never stop. You ever been? No, go ahead.
Yeah.
It says, then the waters had overwhelmed us. The stream had gone over our soul.
Yep.
Then the proud waters had gone over our soul.
And that's their military.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, there's another one in Job, the 30th chapter, which speaks about the floods. You know? But if y'all have, if you have anything to say,
Say it, say it.
if not, we go back to that, You have something?
Oh no, you want me to go back to Matthew 24 real quick?
No, back to,
Okay.
brother got a
Going back to that
precept.
flood.
Yeah, my brother.
This is Psalms 18:4. The sorrows of death compassed me, and the floods of ungodly men made me afraid.
That's it, the floods of ungodly men. That's those militaries.
Yep.
And they are the ungodly.
Yep.
And brother, when they come down this time, 70 AD is going to be child's play compared to this time.
Yeah.
Time of Jacob's trouble is going to be vicious.
Yeah.
And these devils, the scriptures say they're going to be like madmen sparing none.
And if I may add, they already, right now, you see that they already creating a villain. You got the migrants coming in. They're estimating that there's over 17 million illegal migrants or immigrants in America. So eventually they're going to start to paint the picture that they're a problem, and then they're going to associate it with Jake. And they're going to make Jake the face of crime and villainy to justify the onslaught of these different armies that's going to come in.
Now, if you notice, they're not making, because you got Hamites coming in,
Right.
you got Moabites
it's all
coming in,
type of nation.
Yeah,
you got
immigrants, yeah.
different Ishmaelites coming in,
Yeah.
but the face of the migrants is South Americans,
Yeah, South America.
Central America. Jake.
Yeah.
It ain't the heathens that are the face of this. It's Jake.
Jake.
Right. Yep.
So and they did the same thing in Rome. They did the same exact thing. You had the burning of Jerusalem. They blame it on the Christians. So they're gonna there's gonna be a situation that's gonna rise up in the near future where they're gonna blame something. They're gonna blame a major situation on Jake, man.
Yep.
Because they need justification. That's why you think that they going in on Palestine and all these. They created the problem. It's called the Hegelian dialect.
Yeah.
The problem. The Hegelian dialect, the problem reaction solution.
I
If
got
I
some,
can add, with the other nations that's coming in, Ishmael coming in. This, you remember when they was jumping on the plane, trying to stay on the plane to catch over here?
Yeah.
So they set up programs to where they would set up share riders where they're giving out contracts for people to take these people to get their citizenship, to get the house. They're giving them houses.
Yeah.
They was setting up all these programs for them.
stuff,
But just to add, they're not the face. Jake is the face.
Yeah, that's right.
You notice when it
Yeah.
all go down.
Because they're the ones getting the best hotels.
Oh yeah.
The best of everything.
Stays.
But the face of
the evil that's there.
tyranny
Right.
are the Jakes that's poor, that's homeless, that's out out in the streets.
Yep.
And they might be put up in a hotel, but the hotel is not all that great. But that's all done by design.
Yep.
It's all done by design, and it's also done to collapse the economy of America.
Absolutely.
Because you got Jake that's mad that they've been in this country all their life and they pretty can't get a fair shake.
Right.
And here it is, you got these migrants coming over here, but they're not thinking about Ishmael and Ham and all that. They're looking at the so-called South American and Central Americans, which are Jakes, as the problem. Just like at one time they look at the so-called Mexicans as the problem.
Yep.
But let's finish that up in and then we're gonna take a walk down top.
Okay.
Down there.
All right, this is James 9 and verse 27. It says, and he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week.
Right, and that last week, 7 years. That 7-year period started around 66 AD.
Like 73 AD.
So about 73 into 74, or so. It was a period of 7 years where after the 66 AD, after 70 AD, you had the zealots that ran up into Masada, You know, and then that was pretty much their tomb.
You know, the last stand.
That was the last stand.
Last
That's it.
stand.
But check this out, because it started around 66 AD, off of, you know, tax collection and Jake getting tired of paying, you know, exorbitant taxes and all that. But go ahead.
Yep. It says, reading on, it says, and in the midst of the week,
Which is what? About 3.5 years.
yeah,
Right? Go ahead.
he shall cause the sacrifice of and the oblation to cease.
So what was that?
That was 70 AD.
Right.
Yeah.
Because of what did the sacrifice take place in?
In the temple.
Right. So what happened to the temple?
It got
It got sacked.
yeah,
So the sacrifice stopped.
yeah. It's in the midst. The midst is the middle.
Right.
That's 70 between 66, like you said, 73 AD, 70 is
That's
the middle.
about 3.5
midst.
3.5 years.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It says, and for the overspreading of abominations,
Because they got up in the temple. Go ahead.
it says, he shall make it desolate,
Mm-hmm.
even until the consummation, and that determined he shall be poured upon the desolate.
Right. And that was Jake.
Yep.
You know, so pretty much, you know, that's 70 AD. So this monument here was not set up
Right.
as a, you know, it's just a nice, you know, thing to have in the middle of the city. No, it was a commemoration of the Ark of Titus. We just read it earlier that it's a commemoration of the Ark of Titus. So now what we're going to do is we're going to walk down to show you some more evidence that this place is Rome. So let's go. Hey, y'all say, keep on speaking.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, now you have it the way you have these arcs, right? You know, representing the Ark of Titus and what they did to you know, the Southern Kingdom there. Well, this ark here in Atlanta represents what? Like you said earlier, what they did to Gad, because they had to take down the Creek Indians here to basically get the city.
That's right.
You know, so then part of what? The Northern Kingdom.
Yeah.
So all the tribes got triumphed over. You know?
With commemoration of that. You know? So yeah, you can see here, you know, this is a sun wheel. You can see the sun wheel all the way around. And then you have the Roman pillars. You know, Roman pillars, and every time you went through Rome in different places, you had the Roman pillars everywhere. Hey, you notice that, you know, right? He said, y'all probably know more about this than me. This is just my job.
He knows what's up.
You know, so we're gonna come over here. But we're gonna come back over here because this is the main spot. Right. Because we're more concerned with Rome, because America is the modern day Rome. Right. And we are with anything else. But Cyrus the Great, which is the Persian king, is very important in our history because he actually, you know, was the one that gave the order to reestablish the temple.
Yep. And that's what that is in his hand. That's called a cylinder. And that was the decree that certain temples be erected, you know. Mainly the second temple was the second temple, right?
Second temple.
The second temple be erected, but
that's what Nehemiah, Ezra, and the rest of the priests and the prophets and the men of the Lord, and because you had prophets there too. Zerubbabel, Joshua, you know, they were all part of helping with the rebuilding. And that's when the heathen, what they do, they try to stop it. You have it,
no, but if you look, it's funny how he's, you know, me and the brother who's looking, he's facing the west. And if he's facing the west, when you look at that gate, that means that gate is facing the east.
Which is the rising of the sun.
When you look up the definition of a gate, it's an entryway. Right. You know? So, you know, I don't know what they thought of when they was building this temple, but, you know, to me, it's like, if he was the one that put a decree out for the Israelites to build a second temple, and he's here facing the west, to me that's symbology from the Lord that is going to be a temple built here in the west too.
Yeah.
And
this you got the Gadite actually on the other side.
Yeah.
The east side.
Yeah. You know, so you know, they may have just built it because it was in their hearts to do it, and you know, they may have their own ways of building, but the scriptures say what? All things are double, one against another.
No such thing as coincidence.
Yeah. He, for his own purpose, but for the purpose behind it. He's facing the west, and here the spiritual temple is being built. You know, the spiritual house, the house of David is being built right here in the west.
That's right.
You know, by who? The servants, the Lord's servants, the men of the Lord, man.
I got something. This is 1 Corinthians 3:16. It says, "Know ye not that ye are the temple of God? The Spirit of God dwelleth in you."
So the temple rests wherever the people are. You know, a temple without the people, there is no temple. You know, but the temple is within the people.
Yeah.
You know,
that's where the third temple is, pretty much the Israelites.
Yeah.
And the scriptures give you the third temple, which is the house of David, the tabernacle of David that's fallen. And how's the Lord building it up right now? We're the spiritual lively stones. And the Lord is using his word as the mortar to build up the Israelites. Bring it up, brother.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 7 and verse 10. It says, "My defenses of the Most High is saving the upright in heart."
Beautiful.
And just to add to the apostle point, that reckoning is right here within us.
That's right.
That's that upright in heart. That's that temple that would be built, you know, from the fall.
Yeah, because remember, when you had a temple that was defiled, the stone came out cleansed, and then you had to rebuild it. So this is the temple, the stones being the Israelites today, the lively stones being brought in, and the stones have to be perfected.
Right.
That's why you had the white stone, you had the black stone. The white stone represented purity, you know, free from guilt, but the black stone represented the guilty.
Right.
You know, so the Lord is giving out white stones to build up his temple. You know?
It's like, I got another quick precept. Just to add to that idea of there's nothing coincidental. This is Wisdom of Solomon 12 and 1.
This is
It
exciting.
says, "For thine incorruptible spirit is in all things."
Read it again.
Wisdom of Solomon chapter
Break it
12
down.
and verse 1. It says, "For thine incorruptible spirit is in all things."
Beautiful.
So, like the elder was saying, no matter what was the motivation behind them building or erecting these monuments, it has the spirit of the Lord within it. You know, the spirit for the wise of the people to consider. You know, and that would be the prophets. You know, so we look at this, and it pretty much contributes to our faith. Because we know that, you know, everything is a build up.
Right.
You know, to that moment.
And really, you could kind of attribute this erection to what happened to the Native American Indians, which kind of makes sense on they got Gad on the front of it. And then you got the sacking of Gad, which, you know, it's kind of like their 70 AD, which happened when they came over to the Americas. But then you got the rebuilding, you know, of the temple, like what the Elder D-Mas broke down with Cyrus the Great. Meaning that the Native American Indians, they're going to come back into the fold too. Remember, Yahweh Shah said, "I have sheep which are not of this fold." That was going into the Northern Kingdom that had came over to America. Okay, after the Assyrian captivity, man. You know, you got the trying to come into the temple.
Trying to come to it.
But yeah, man, you know, so it all, you know, it all ties in through the spirit, because, you know, really the whole gathering of this thing really came through the tribe of Judah. Scripture tell you that in Genesis 49, thy gathering shall be unto Judah. So when you look at the pioneers of the truth that we have, you know, you have, you know, the elder Abba Bivens, and, you know, High Priest Ariah, King Mashah, you know, on down the line, you know, they were men. You know, and through that, then you had, you know, the other brothers and apostles that came in that were of the scattered tribes. But that is all to bring back or commemorate the rebuilding of the third temple.
And that's not by coincidence.
Right.
There's nothing done by coincidence.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was a bad lesson.
Gathering now.
Yeah. Hey, the Lord said. That's right. Hey, the Lord said that He shall save the chance of Judah first. That the other tribes won't magnify themselves against Judah, because no matter what you say, Judah's a head tribe, and you can't change that.
They got that on lock.
Yeah. Oh, well, you know, when they got the 12 tribes side, the 12 tribes side is off because they don't have the, you know, the right. First of all, it's correct.
Yeah.
Judah's ahead. Just because Reuben, Shalom, just because Reuben was the firstborn, he didn't get the birthright.
Right.
The birthright passed from tribe to tribe, certain tribes, and it ended with Judah.
That's right.
Because at one time, Ephraim, Joseph had that birthright.
Yep.
But that birthright was taken from them because it was supposed to be given to Judah.
Judah, because it went from Reuben.
Yep.
Then from Reuben you had Simeon and Levi, which they didn't get the birthright because
Right.
what they
3.
did. And then it went to Judah because Judah was the fourth born son.
Yeah.
And now
Mercy.
through the loins of Judah came the Messiah, man.
Yeah.
Yahweh Shai. And it was really Yahweh Shai that really created a way for all the tribes to come back together, especially in the latter times, man, because majority of the 10 tribes, the 12 tribes are here in America.
Yeah.
And even when you look at the plaque, it not only did it commemorate Rome and Greece, but it said Egyptian, man.
Yeah.
So they go to show you that this is Egypt all over again. Which, if I could get a quick scripture real quick,
Bring
that's
it out.
what's that? Revelations 11 and 8.
Yeah.
Because this is Egypt all over again, man.
That's no coincidence.
There's no coincidence at all. They shalom, bro.
Notice that there's no plaque around this to tell you this big ass statue is Cyrus the Great. But every other statue, the statue of the woman, they got a plaque. The statue, everything else.
I was just thinking about that.
Yeah, but we have to actually the brother was the brother Aaron. Their brother had to actually Google it and find out that this was Cyrus the Great.
Yeah.
Because hey man. Hey, the Lord make these devils do things, and then they figure it out afterwards and be like, "Oh my goodness, why we do that?"
Yep.
Well, don't
Hands
put
goes
that.
out of the Lord.
Yeah, because niggas might figure it out if we put a plaque up here.
Yep.
Right.
But they don't count on the Holy Spirit to quicken us, man. Because they're not spiritual beings.
Yeah, they're kind of.
That's right.
I got Revelation.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, this is Revelation 11 and 8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt.
Hey, well, that's symbolic of our people being in a dead state of mind also. Yeah. Okay? If you look at Jake, man, they pretty much dead men walking. They don't have any idea on what the hell is going on, man.
Right.
Like I say, people ride up and down this street all day, every day, and they have no idea that this is really a slap in the face to you.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a Native American Indian or all the tribes.
Yeah, all the tribes,
all the tribes. So their dead bodies shall lie in the great city, which is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt. That's how you know that America is Egypt today also.
Yep.
It's an amalgamation of all of those kingdoms, and one identifier of that is that all 12 tribes was in captivity in Egypt, just as they went in captivity here in America.
And if you notice too, like from Egypt, which the Ptolemies took over, you had the worship of Serapis Christus.
Oh yeah, they got a statue
Serapis
in the
Christus
museum.
was down there in the museum.
Yeah.
And Serapis Christus was a conglomeration of Egyptian deities.
Yeah.
Serapis, you had Apis the bull. You had somebody else, I forgot who the other one was. But it's no coincidence. And even today, to this very day, people still worship this image of the so-called white Jesus, which goes to Caesar Borgia in the 1400s. It goes all the way back to ancient Egypt, when the Edomites took over ancient Egypt and set themselves up as the new pharaohs.
That's that history.
Yeah. And show you that Esau, all he does is just basically recycle gods and powers from other cultures, and
So why is it so hard to believe that the small hats aren't Israelites?
Right.
Oh, and with this statue too, Cyrus, Persia.
Yeah.
So it's all these, but this isn't Babylon the Great.
Right.
The great confusion.
Right.
All these philosophies and the kingdoms and everything together.
Yeah.
It makes one big confusing.
Melted pot.
Melted pot. All nations. So let's take this place.
It's like Esau up on bases of men.
Yeah.
And all those different deities.
All the gods.
I just had a quick little
You got it, brother.
paragraph on Serapis. It says Serapis is a Greco-Egyptian god of the Ptolemaic period.
Greco-Egyptian god.
Yep. It says of Egypt, developed by the monarch Ptolemy Soter.
Yep, which was the first one, which Soter means savior. And his son's name was Ptolemy II, which is Philadelphus. You know about Philadelphus.
Yep.
Brotherly love.
It says as part of his vision to unite his Egyptian and Greek subjects, Serapis' cult later spread throughout the Roman Empire until it was banned by the decree of Theodosius the First. It says some form of the god existed prior to the Ptolemaic period and may have been the patron deity of the small fishing and trade port of Rhotokus. Later, the site of the city of Alexandria, Egypt. Serapis is referenced as the god Alexander the Great, invoked at his death. But whether that god Serapis is the name, as Serapis has been challenged, as it is thought more likely Serapis was a Babylonian deity. So, I just wanted to bring, that quick little point out since brother was mentioning. But, if you go into the inside of the museum, they got a statue of